Good evening and welcome to Vision Radio 345. It's me, Mr. Cain, with my good brethren, Ironman. How you doing, sir?
Good, sir. Good to be here.
I know this guy's hard to catch you now because he's always working like we all are. And yeah.
Back in the headphones again.
No, it's good to catch up. It's been I wouldn't say it's quiet time because we always keep communication going. You know, as brethren and brethren, you have to just reason with them and just keep things, support each other, you know. That's what we do.
But it's been a while since we broadcasted together.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
I think the last time was in 19 long time, I'll call it now, you know. I don't remember the date.
19 whole long.
19 whole long. No, there was some good times there. We was on Break FM. That's where we first started out. And thanks to people like Trevor Blackman and the team, Delhi, and the rest of the guys, Toby. And
Over 20 years ago now. Matt.
Spencer.
Yeah.
All the guys there. Richard.
Yeah, Richard.
Yeah. But, you know, now we're here. We're moving forward. This is Vision Radio 345, Mr. Cain and Ironman. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that's a bit... it's all about honesty, but it's all about development because, as we know, in the time we're living in, people are going through a number of things, relationships and personal development, mental health. Ian, as a person, you've worked around mental health, kind of worked for quite some time, and myself, not working with mental health, but working around young people and so forth, and even adults. So, you know, it's a difficult one. But, you know, at the same time, we've got to try and move forward and try to progress as individuals as well, as collectively, because it's all about keeping it together and uplifting each other.
Shedding some light on us on certain issues and trying to enlighten people with what we've got.
Exactly. So we're going to take a listen to this clip that I found, and this is about relationships. So it's like, you know, things that we should not take for granted. We all do at some point, but we're going to look at this situation today and just have a quick conversation about it. Just tell me what you think about this.
If a man is available to you anytime you call, he is there. Anytime you need his presence, he is there. You text him, he replies. You call him, he picks up. He is 100% committed to you, available for you. Don't take him for granted, as we often realize someone's value only after we lose them. Don't lose a good man who is always there for you. The fact that he is reliable and always available doesn't mean he has nothing better to do. It doesn't mean he lacks friends or a social life. It simply means that he consistently takes time out of his day for you. He has reserved a space in his heart for you. The day that good man turns his back on you, you'll understand the difference between warmth and coldness. It's easy to forget the value of consistency and devotion until it's gone. A man like that shows up because he cares, not because he's obligated. So if he's always there for you, love and appreciate him fully, because good men who are reliable and committed are rare. To whom sense is given, wisdom is expected. Take advantage of that man's dedication by loving him with all your heart. A man who cares for you and makes time for you is worth holding on to.
So there's a clip. Very powerful, very intense. But, you know, this is something that we feel that we should talk about because it makes sense. It does help individuals move from one situation, what they're probably in, to a better place. But it's about taking those steps. And sometimes, as we know, these things are out of fear. Fear is one of the biggest factor of moving from where you're so comfortable that you don't want to. You're trying to make progress, but you can't because of the fact of the fear factor.
You don't know how to.
You don't know how to. So these clips that we listen to are very educative in the way they come across, and also can also impart advice as well. We're not counsellors. We're just people who just listen to things that may be useful for other people.
Sure thing. I think relationships are complicated enough, and I think if you've got someone that's complicated already, and they come into a relationship which is can be a complicated thing, then it adds to all of the conflict that that might happen within a relationship. And people come from different walks of life, different backgrounds. They have different life experiences. Some people have been abused. Some people didn't have the education growing up, and all they know is to fight or flight. It's to fight or run. Or some people are a bit more grounded. They've got the intelligence to kind of say, you know, this is how I should deal with it because that's what's going to be beneficial for me
Yeah.
and beneficial for us. But some people don't have that. They don't have that education.
And it's the know-how and being taught,
Yeah.
which some of us didn't get that I wouldn't say privileges, but it's chances that that you have. But due to circumstances that could be in the house or just the way people are, you don't actually reach your full potential even when you're in primary school. And this goes up straight into adulthood. But there's always room for us to learn, for improvement.
Some people are arrested in their development. They may be like a 30-odd, 40-odd, whatever age they may be in terms of an adult. But in their minds, they're arrested at that time when that trauma took place, when they were 7 or 8 years old, when that man abused them or that woman abused them or their father abused them or whoever. When they suffered that trauma, they're still there.
Yeah.
They're still that little kid. And even though they've grown in age, but they're still that little kid.
Little kid, yeah. So going back to that clip that we just listened to, what did we get from that? Because the woman was clearly stating, when you find a good man, a good person who's genuinely doing what they're doing, is don't take them for granted.
Right, yeah. I mean, it just brings me back to what my mum used to say. It's an old Jamaican proverb that says, "Cow never know the use of him tail till it rotten
Till the
off."
butcher cut it off.
The butcher cut it off. Yeah. And it's so right. You know what I mean? Because you can have something, don't know the value of it until it's gone. You know, you don't know the value of it until it's gone, and by then it might be too late to get it back.
Yeah.
So we have to treasure what we have. You know, a lot of women out there. In this case, the clip is. I'm not picking on women, but the clip is talking about the value of a good man, because there are lots of people out there that don't value a good man. They take him for granted. They take his kindness for weakness.
Is it, and that's probably because they haven't seen that model in the home.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they've been told otherwise, or just don't have the clarity in their head to say, well, look, this is what it looks like.
And they genuinely feel, letting their guard down, they will lose everything. And it usually comes from a traumatic experience in their life when they had no control. And they swore somewhere in their subconscious that they would never lose control again. That's why they're controlling. That's why they want to control emotions. That's why they put brick walls up. It's a sad thing, but there are people out there that have gone through all of that trauma. And, you know, you come into a relationship and you bring that into a relationship where the other person may be okay, but you expose him to that or her to that, and then what happens is people react. And sometimes what happens is that if you were a good husband, that person would have been a good wife, or you were a good wife, that person would have been a good husband. So sometimes we can make each other. You see what I'm saying? If you're not strong enough, when you come in, if you meet a woman and you fall for her, and she shows you all the right signals, that's going to melt your heart. That's going to let your guard down, and you start being maybe emotional in a way that you never used to examine your emotions before. And in the same way, if somebody starts being aggressive and you know, abusing you, that's going to make you react as well. People bounce off of each other, don't they?
And this is why the home is important, for the foundation for everybody has that structure, that kind of infrastructure where, you know, the men do what they need to be doing and lead, because that's the whole point. And we've lost the leaders along the way because society's changed, times have changed, things have gone reversed, so to speak, things are unbalanced.
Because it's not the way the Creator intended it to be, and that's what's happened.
They're unbalanced. Because anything that's not in a particular order will always end up in imbalance. Also in chaos. Also in chaos. If you listen in, please drop a text to 07585 364475, or just email us at visionradio345@gmail.com, or the info@visionradio345.co.uk. And if you're interested, check out the website, www.visionradio345.co.uk. Yeah, so there's a lot to unravel there, and these are the things that are happening, especially with our young people now. I mean, it's bad enough, so to speak. I would say so to speak, but some of us just haven't moved on from that kind of thinking. But when we look at our young people now, and where they're at with their emotions and can't manage it, and these are supposed to be the next generation of young people, the tolerance level is at its minimum.
But I think for men should be men. And as I said, we were saying before, when there's an imbalance, and God intended, the Creator intended things to be a certain way. Because if it's not that way, then we get chaos or we get problems. Any machinery that's not working in the way it was designed to work, you've got a problem with that machinery.
Yeah.
So we've come out of sync from where we should be. Yeah. And unfortunately, you've got women trying to teach men how to be men, when really and truly they can teach them how to be a good person, but to make them into a man, it takes another man, and vice versa. A man can teach his daughter how to be a good person, but to be a good woman, it takes another woman.
Yeah,
because you mirror.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's said that the woman are the head of they're not head of the home. They shape the home.
The nurturer. They nurture the home.
They shape the home. They are solely responsible for how things not necessarily runs in that, but they're responsible for how the atmosphere is set as a mother with her children. When the man's going out to work and come back in, that atmosphere has to be set. So this is what this woman's talking about. When you have these type of men who are there and who are doing what they're doing, and then you have certain women or different types of people who come and approach you in a different angle. They want to be aggressive, they want to be boss woman and all this kind of nonsense.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
There's certain men who just do not have it.
I've never seen a hand say to the head, I'm taking charge now. That's stupidity. And that's what we've got. We've got that the head has gone to sleep and doesn't have the function that it's supposed to have. And that's why we're getting problems in society with our young people, problems in relationships. And it's all because it's a spiritual thing.
Yeah, and we're not here to dampen people's day. We're just having a conversation and about awareness. And I want to go on to another thing. What a lot of this boils down to, not just the fact that we've got our physical being and we can move about and do these things, but our emotional intelligence side of things, because that is really the real key.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play a second clip and listen to what this person has to say about emotional intelligence. That's if I can find the clip. I've got the clip here, don't worry.
If you are with someone that is not aware of their emotions, someone that doesn't have emotional intelligence, awareness, or regulation, get ready, because you are going to live your life in a constant state of unnecessary stress, which leads to illness, which leads to disease. And most people don't understand the seriousness of this. Because if you are constantly in a space where your partner is triggered or angered or responsive or reactive or jealous or defensive, then what happens to you, you are getting a message very clearly, and that message says, hey, it is not safe for you to speak your truth. Because if and when you do speak your truth, you are going to get a reaction. And that reaction and that energy is going to cause you to quiet down and never speak your truth. Well, get ready, because after 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years, your body is going to start to swell up with inflammation, because the body is storing all of that energy that you've been afraid of letting go of. And by the way, take ownership of it, because that fear is yours. That fear is yours. No matter how deep and dark and powerful their reaction is, you can still speak your truth. And yet the reality is as your body gets inflamed, you start opening your body up to unnecessary illness and disease.
Wow, what a powerful statement. Now, we've moved from what we were just talking about before regarding the not taking people for granted. And then we're now moving on to the emotional side of people and what happens. And these are the things that probably lead up to things like, he said, anxiety and all these kind of other things, because of our emotional and well-being is not intact.
So physiologically we feel it as well. Yeah,
exactly. But it was interesting because he was saying, if we don't have those things in place, these are the things that will happen. You will be constantly angry. You will be constantly upset. You will have no logical thinking or emotional intelligence, and it's about rewiring the mind, which is a hard process to do.
It is, yeah. I mean, I think we're mature men. Would you say that?
Yeah, and we've still got a lot to learn, but we're here.
We've learned to kind of control ourselves. We've got discipline. We've got we can temper ourselves. So if we were in a difficult situation, we know how to react. Maybe as young men, we would have done something differently. I know I would have done.
I wasn't that guy, but I didn't put up with nonsense neither.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's just
short.
It's just the energy that people have, and I get that. Everybody's different. We're not knocking nobody here.
No.
We're just saying.
But we've had to learn along the way to say, look, if you do this, as they say in Jamaica, if you want peas, you cannot plant corn. And it's something that we have to reiterate every now and again, because lots of people plant peas when they really want corn. So what they put out is not what they want, and because they haven't got the emotional intelligence to face what they should be doing.
Yeah, and that goes all the way down to our young people today. This is one of the main things that they don't. They cannot manage their emotional intelligence, and that leads to other things as well. Like, you know, as we already know, social media now is the main influence for young people, and that causes huge problems if it's not managed properly. And we could see how that's getting out of hand. It's having an effect on them from an early age, even up until now. We know this. We have these conversations all the time. They're out there on social media talking about it, but we have to understand the seriousness of what's actually going on with our young people in terms of their emotional well-being and intelligence. That human interaction is getting less and less and less.
Less and less and less, and we're relying more on AI and technology.
Yeah.
And the phone is responsive, but it's responsive not in the human way, and that kind of damages some of your wiring. It really does.
Your natural instincts to connect with people and talk, because you have a brain.
Desensitizes you.
Yeah, all your cognitive skills and all these kind of things. That
You're losing them. I think they did an experiment years ago. I think we spoke about this before, where they exposed a group of young people to some video games. Played it for half an hour, and what they did was they took the video games away, sat at a desk, interviewed them, and then they knocked some pens on the floor. Now the group of boys that was exposed to the video games for half an hour didn't pick the pens up, just looked at it and left it. The ones that didn't, I
remember we spoke about this some time ago.
Yeah. The ones that didn't, and they didn't have any video games that were exposed to, they picked the pens up. It's deep.
And that's years down the line. Listen, that's it from us. If you've got any views and opinions about what we just talked about, just please leave a message, or you can text to 07585364475, or send an email to visionradio345@gmail.com, or info@visionradio345.co.uk. I'm going to have to move this sign now because I need to have it a bit more high-rise. So that's it for now. Take care for now.
Take care, guys.
That's it from me, Mr. Ironman.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.